Hello, everyone. I hope you are well and having an amazing Saturday. I am stopping in to check in with y'all for the week. It's Saturday school. So I hope y'all have had a great week. This is my first video since last Saturday school. And I'm glad to be back. So, very quick lesson for you today. And I think a very important reminder, especially as we are coming into the summer months, known as the vacation months. But I know that for a lot of us, the vacation months just are basically another chance to work, but maybe doing different kinds of work. But I want to share really quick. So I've been moving around. I've been quite busy. And by the time it got to be like early evening, I was like super duper tired. But I had another errand or two that I needed to run. And so a part of me, when I got in from my last set of tasks, I knew I needed to do something else. So my original plan was just to immediately go out and do what I needed to do. But I also really wanted to just lay down for a minute and just gather myself. And I was really thankful because throughout the day, even though yesterday it had been raining and it rained into the night and there was like thunderstorm warnings and so forth, there wasn't rain throughout the day as I was moving and shaking. And so I went and I just decided, you know what? Instead of trying to push myself, I know I'm going to run this other errand. I need to do this other task. But I'm going to lay myself down just for a few minutes. I didn't sleep. I just literally laid my body down across the bed and just, had a few moments to relax. And I actually laid there a few minutes longer than I planned to, but not too much longer. But I got up. I can't necessarily say I was 100% refreshed. I'm looking forward to laying down for the evening. But I was able to get up and go run my next errand. So when I got outside, I saw that in just those few minutes that I went to go lay down, like rain came through. And it was a good bit of rain because when I went inside, the ground was dry. But when I came out, it wasn't just little sprinkles. There was a lot of rain on the ground. And my car had been completely rinsed off. My windshield was looking kind of, I need some washer fluid. But I not too long ago got my car serviced. So, I just need to add some washer fluid because apparently I used a lot over the past couple of weeks. But I digress. So I came out after a few minutes and it had poured down raining at least for a couple of minutes and I didn't even notice. And there was a rainbow in the sky just like that. And so that was just such a word for me because first of all, I was really thankful that for one, I missed the rain. I wasn't out in the rain doing anything. I wasn't driving in the rain. I wasn't out in the street running errands in the rain. I was cool. And also that by the time I came back out, I didn't miss the showcase. I didn't miss the rainbow. And so that was such an encouraging thought for me. And that is my Saturday school lesson for you today. As you are pushing forward, you are following God, you are doing your best to steward your time, your talent, your treasure, your resources well. You're doing your best to steward your relationships. You're doing your best to spend time, quality time with God, to stay connected, stay rooted. And, sometimes it just seems like your list of errands, your list of tasks, it just seems like there's just always something to do. And even when you have checked off all of your to-dos for the day, there are still things that may be running in your mind or on your mind for the next day or for the coming months or different things you're trying to set up and get in place. And so I just want to encourage you today that when you feel that prompting, that this is a time that you could just take a brief rest, take it. Even if it is a weekend, if it is a week, if you're a content creator and I know you're pushing to stay on that algorithm, or if you're like me to get on it and be on it consistently so that your great message, your good news, your help, your encouragement can be heard with more people. So I know sometimes it's hard to even fathom taking a break because you may fear what will happen if you take that quick break, if you take that quick rest. My encouragement for you is to keep pushing, do what you got to do. But while you are resting, God is working. While you are letting Him have it, while you've given that thing to Him, while you have done your part, while you are resting, God is working. And you will not miss the display of His glory if you decide to take a moment, take a breath, ground yourself, get yourself rooted in Him. And that could be practically in a physical world type of way, giving your body what it needs. But it could also be in a spiritual sense. I will never forget a church that I was a part of for a few years. I loved that. One of the things that helped me to, recognize so many signs of health in that church when I first came in is that the pastors spoke of yearly sabbaticals. There were multiple pastors at the church, and there was a lead teaching pastor, there was a family life pastor, a missions pastor, and so forth. And they always took, I believe it was a month sabbatical. That didn't necessarily mean they weren't at church. Sometimes it may have meant that they weren't at church. They may have traveled or whatever, but for the most part, it was for rest. It was a requirement. It was something that they put in place for themselves. And for their families and for our family within the church to rest. There's nothing wrong with it. I know there are times where, God will put something in you and you just have to drive and you just got to push forward and you got to do it. And you may not get a rest for an extended period of time. But just know that if God is giving you that nudge to take a rest, you got to trust Him enough to know that your labor for Him is not in vain, in that if He asks you to sit it down someplace for a minute, that you're not going to miss whatever it is that you're supposed to experience, whatever it is that He has planned for you. Your hard work will not be in vain. It's not going to go to waste if you decide to just lay down for a few minutes. So for those of you who are coming through heavy, intense seasons of spiritual warfare even, oh my gosh, I know. I know what you're going through, even though, we're all experiencing different things. Having experienced sometimes prolonged seasons of spiritual warfare, or even just prolonged seasons of spiritual growth, where your spiritual work has been intense, where you're fasting, where your prayer, your intercession, your study has been intense. If you know, sometimes God just increases whatever little bit of piece of rest you get. I know about it. But I remember about a year ago coming through a time like that and coming into May, which is my birthday month, and so looking forward to a time of rest, and almost being like impulsed into joining this really intense consecration with this particular group. And I just felt an unrest within me to do it. I was motivated to do it, but there was just something in me. And I remember so clearly hearing the Lord tell me, I didn't tell you to do that. May is going to be rest for you. I so clearly heard God say, if you join that fast, it's just going to be striving, because I didn't call you to do that. And I remember being reminded that it was okay to rest. And, shortly thereafter, there was a time again where God gave me the grace to, participate in fasting and be in the intense work of spiritual warfare. So, but anyway, wherever you are, whatever it is that you have going on, just know that it is okay for you to rest if that is what God is calling you to do in this season. Be encouraged.